Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. I'm making another video for you. We are going to be in Matthew today. We're going to be talking about forgiveness, which is what Jesus did for us, and how really it's important that we forgive too. Okay? We're going to be doing this. I hope you're having a great week and you're being obedient. We're honoring Jesus. We're doing what we can to be kind to our parents and help out around the house. So today, we are going to be in Matthew 18 and we are going to be reading a parable. Okay, that a parable is a story. Jesus told a lot of parables, stories that were meant to help teach a lesson or an idea. So we are going to be reading this story from Jesus, and then I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, we'll try and keep it short, try and be entertaining. So buckle up, parents. If you're watching too, you can open up the Bible and follow along. We're going to be in Matthew 18, starting in verse 21. All right. Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times? Jesus answered, I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. And as he began to settle with the settlement, a man who owed him 10,000 bags of gold was brought to him. Since was not able to pay, the master ordered that he and his wife and his children and all that he had be sold to repay the debt. At this, the servant fell on his knees and begged before him. Be patient with me, he begged, and I will pay back everything. The master's servant took pity on him, canceled the debt, and let him go. But when the servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 silver coins. He grabbed him and began to choke him. Pay me back what you owe me, he demanded. His fellow servant fell on his knees and begged him, Be patient with me, and I will pay it back. But he refused. Instead, he went off and had the man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. When the other servants saw what had happened, they were outraged and went and told their master everything that had happened. Then the master called the servant in. You wicked servant, he said, I cancel all that debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant just as I had mercy on you? In anger, his master handed him over to the jailers to be tortured until he could pay back all he owed. All right, so it's a long text, but I'm going to try and break it down for you. So what's happening? All right, so Peter is one of Jesus's disciples, one of his followers, one of the people who honors Jesus. And Peter has a question. Now he's trying to figure out how this forgiveness things work. And he wants to look pretty cool. So he goes up to Jesus and he's like, all right, I know what's going to impress Jesus. This is going to impress Jesus. And so he says, Jesus, how many times should I forgive my friend? 7 times? Now, in their mind, that's huge because they thought they only had to do it 3 times. Forgive someone 3 times. So let's say you are hanging out with your friend and then your friend takes something of yours and walks away. You have to forgive him for that. You got to try and still be his friend. If he apologizes and says, you know what, that was wrong. I shouldn't have taken your candy. I took it from you. That's wrong. We want to forgive, especially if they apologize. We want to say, okay, that's fine. I will try not to yell at you about it anymore. I will try not to hold this against you or to remind you that you've done this. Okay? We want to forgive them. We want to let it go. Just let it kind of fly away and not think about it anymore, if we can, right? We want to learn to trust again. Now, what if he does it 2 more times? Well, in Peter's day, way back, way back, they thought after that third time, nah, that's it. You don't have to forgive them anymore. They're a jerk. Let them go. But Jesus says, no, not 7 times, Peter. That doesn't actually impress me. It says 77 times. Basically, you can't stop forgiving him because you're not going to keep counting, right? Imagine the person who's trying to keep track of this and they're taking a little etchy pen. They're like, all right, here's 1. I've forgiven him. And then a couple days later, they do something again that upsets you. You're like, 2 tally mark. No one does this. When Jesus says 77 times, he's saying, I don't want you to ever stop forgiving them, right? So then we get into the parable. Now, what happens in this parable? Let me sum it up for you real quick, okay? There's a king, right? Big head honcho guy. He's in charge of the land. He's in charge of stuff, and he's got a bunch of servants. Now, some of these servants he's loaned things out to. He's made payments to because they needed money. It could have been they were trying to start a little business to make some extra money for themselves and they needed some money, or something happened and they had to fix something, like let's say their car broke down and they needed fixing. So they go to the king and they'll go, hey, can you give me some money so I can fix this? Well, after a while, their debts begin to accumulate, and the king says, okay, it's time to go around, let's talk to all my servants, and just start settling these accounts. Basically, I want to bring everything back to zero. They no longer owe me anything. I no longer have money out that I'm waiting for. So the king goes to all these servants. He finally gets to the servant who owes him 10,000 denarii. Yeah, I don't know what that means either. What does that mean? Basically, picture it like this. All the money that your mom and dad make in a year that allows you to have the house, that allows them to have the car, that allows them to have all the fun things, the toys they buy you, the vacations they take, the trips that they do, all that money. Multiply it by 10. Multiply it by a lot. So much money. It's more money than anyone could make in a year. It's more money than most people in the world can make ever. Ever. They cannot make this money. Who knows how this guy managed to make that much of a debt? That's crazy. Don't go into debt like that. It's not healthy. Your parents will explain what I mean when you're older. Don't do it. You might not have a choice. College is awful, but that's okay. College is good too. So the servant, right, he's told, you have 10,000 denarii. You owe me more than you could ever make in your life. And the servant falls on him. He's like, please, please have mercy on me. He's begging for forgiveness. And so the king has pity on him. He says, okay, I know you can never pay this debt, right? You can never pay me all of this money, all of the stuff that you would need to pay me back. You will never be able to do it. So I forgive you. What he's doing is he's taking this debt, right? So let's say you owe your friend 10 popsicles because they helped you out with your chores when they were at your house. But you didn't have popsicles at the time. So, Mom, I gotta buy popsicles because I owe my friend popsicles. And then your friend shows up and says, hey, you owe me 10 popsicles. Pay up. And you're like, but I don't have the popsicles. Mom hasn't gone to buy them yet. Dad hasn't gone to buy them yet. I don't know why. Please have patience with me. And your friend goes, okay, you know what? No big deal. We'll get popsicles later. Like, that's forgiveness. It's taking an amount, a debt of some kind, right? The idea that you owe someone something, you are responsible to them for that, and it just wipes it clean. Gone. That's forgiveness. Now this servant goes out to another servant, another friend who owes him. So, like, the first guy who was 10,000 denarii finds another guy who owes him 100 silver coins. This is like the equivalent of $1. This is like $1. This is like your friend owes you $1. Just $1. $1 is nothing. It's so little money. No big deal at all, right? But this guy wraps his hands around his throat and chokes him out and is like, pay me what you owe me. That's not how you should ever treat your friend if they owe you money or popsicles or whatever. Please don't choke your friends out. Do not try this at home. Now this friend falls on his knees too and says, please have patience with me. I will pay you back. Now the first guy, the guy who owes 10,000 denarii, the guy who was forgiven, refuses to forgive this guy. And has him thrown in jail until he can pay it back. Well, the servants, all his other friends are like, what the heck? That's not nice. So they go back to the king, the leader, the owner guy, and they, hey, that guy you forgave all that money to? Yeah, he just threw another dude in jail for nothing, for pennies, for $1. So the king calls him back and says, how dare you? I forgave you so much, and you couldn't forgive your friend for so little? Throw him in jail. Throw everything he owns. Sell it. I want that money. And until he can pay it back, he's going to stay behind bars. And Jesus says this is what happens to people who can't forgive. Forgiving is so important. Now, Jesus isn't going to throw us in jail, right? But we want to honor Jesus like we did on Palm Sunday. And Jesus forgiving us by dying on the cross and raising from the dead means that Jesus has forgiven us of all the wrong things we do. Remember the time you talk back to your mom and dad? I bet you do. I remember the times I talked back to my mom and dad. I remember the times I told Ariane, my wife, I said, hey, I'll take care of this thing for you. And then I forget. And that's not good, right? I've let Ariane down. I've let my wife down, and that's not okay. I've sinned against her. I've missed the mark. I've failed her. That's not honoring her. And so when we sin against God. We miss the mark. We don't honor God. And that accumulates a debt. But Jesus, dying on the cross, raising from the dead, forgives that completely. Gone. You don't owe God anything anymore. Jesus took care of it. We're good. But we have to forgive our friends when they wrong us because we've been forgiven for so much. We're like the first guy. We've been forgiven so much debt we could never possibly pay it off, right? We could never possibly pay that off. But Jesus made it possible to pay that off so that we could be free to love our friends, to be with Jesus forever. So my challenge this week has been a little longer than I thought it was going to, but that's okay. We have to learn to forgive. We have to learn to let things go, to erase debt, to say, you know what? I know that you owe me 10 popsicles for the help that I gave, but it's okay if you don't pay me because you're my friend, and I would rather be your friend than to get mad at you because you're not paying me a popsicle, right? Forgiveness is really important, and we need to learn how to practice it. So that's your challenge this week. Learn to forgive, right? Talk to your parents of what this might look like for you. If you're struggling to think of a situation where you need to forgive, maybe your parents can help you figure it out, figure out what does forgiveness look like, because it's sticky and it's hard, even in a 20-minute video, for me to explain how it works. So talk to your parents, okay? And see what they can do to help you. But I will see you guys next week. We're going to wrap it up here, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking the link on the upper left-hand side of your screen so you can see all of our videos when they come out. Or you can watch last Sunday's sermon by clicking the video link on the bottom left of your screen. From all of us at Sylvester Community Church, thank you and God bless.